Szanowny Panie Prezydencie,
Dear Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen,
zgromadziliśmy się dzisiaj
we have gathered here today in the Presidential Palace in Warsaw in exceptional circumstances. In this room with us today are persons and families of persons who during the German occupation of Poland acted in a way which testifies to the human, uncompromising willingness to do good. During the World War II, every Pole was at risk of death, while every Jew was doomed to death. This thin line between the fates of these two nations, under the German occupation, was for many Polish people clear enough to overcome fear and help Jews despite the fearful consequences which could befall them and their families. Ladies and gentlemen, in a minute we will witness an act of honoring those persons who demonstrated incredible empathy, compassion, and courage in the face of the most terrifying machinery of terror in the history of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, by the decision of the President of the Republic of Poland, Bronislaw Komorowski, for their heroic conduct and exceptional courage demonstrated in saving lives of Jews during the World War II, and for their extraordinary contribution to defending human dignity, values and rights, honored with the Commander's Cross of the Order of Polonia Restituta Order, Mrs. Zofia Czarkowska in Sarnaki, Łosicki Powiat. For 2 years she helped her father and siblings Arbor, Szlur, Schulmeister and Mela Kapłan on their family farm. Mrs. Krystyna Dańko. During the German occupation she helped in arboring 4 persons from the Kokoszko family, as well as little Janina Kotowicz. Mrs. Wanda Kołomińska. In Brwinów near Warsaw, she helped her parents and sister Zofia Gajewska arbor the Weissblatt and the Gottschall families, as well as several other Jews. Mrs. Helena Kuśmierz. In the village of Abramów, Lubelskie Voivodeship, she helped her siblings and parents save the life of a small girl, Sarah Rice. Mr. Alfred Kwarciak, in his home in the suburbs of Dubno, he helped his siblings and parents arbor 15 Jews from the Fischer, Center, Półtorek and Schneider families. Mr. Witold Lisowski. In Henryków near Warsaw, he helped his mother arbor a teenager Józef Inwentarz. Mrs. Zofia Mielniczek. In Lwów, she helped her father, Professor Bolesław Czuruk, arbor the Jews who had escaped from the Lwów ghetto. Mr. Stefan Mikołajczyk. In the village of Łagiewniki, Łódzkie Voivodeship, he helped his father and family save the lives of Adela Berkowicz and Jakub Jabłoński. Mrs. Teodozja Nieściur. On her family farm in the village of Batosz, Lubelskie Voivodeship, together with her father Szymon, she provided a hiding place for Lej Bachota. Mr. Wacław Nowiński. In Warsaw, the Nowiński family helped the Jews who had got out of the ghetto obtain false identity documents and find safe hiding place of the Aryan side. Mr. Stanisław Wróbel. In the village of Wola Załężna, near Opoczno, together with his parents, provided a hiding place for 4 Jews, Jakub and Sarah Frankiel, and their little son Herosz, as well as Sarah's sister Bela Rosenberg. Mrs. Wanda Zalewska. In Warsaw, together with her husband, provided a hiding place for Hanna Tal. Posthumously.
Łucja Baranek, Wincenty Baranek, Jadwiga Proczek, Natalia Proczek, Stanisław Proczek, Tomasz Proczek, pani Marianna Sieńska,
Szanowni Państwo,
Ladies and gentlemen,
to dramatyczne doświadczenie II
the
wojny
traumatic
światowej
experiences
cały
of
czas
World War
głęboko
II
w nas
are
tkwi.
still deeply embedded in us.
Ono kształtuje również
They shape
nie
not
tylko
only
naszą
our
wiedzę,
knowledge and
wyobraźnię
historical
historyczną,
imagination,
ale
but
kształtuje
they
również
also
nasze
have
postawy
impact on
współczesne.
our contemporary
Jestem
choices.
przekonany, że
I
jeszcze
am
długo
convinced that
będą
they will
kształtowały
also
także
continue to
postawy
have
tych, którzy
impact
przyjdą
on the
po nas.
choices of those who will live after us
To
for a long time to
doświadczenie
come.
to nie tylko dramat
These
samej
experiences
wojny, to
involve not
również
only the
dramat
tragedy of the war
zagłady
itself,
Żydów,
but
Żydów
also the
europejskich,
tragedy
także
of the mass
Żydów
murder
polskich.
of Jews,
To także
European
pamięć
Jews,
heroiczna,
including also
pamięć
Jews from
dramatyczna,
Poland.
pamięć walki, pamięć
It is
śmierci,
a heroic
pamięć
memory, a
czasów,
traumatic
kiedy
memory, the memory of
niełatwo
struggle, the
było być
memory of death,
przyzwoitym.
the memory
Kiedy
of
niełatwo
the
było
times when
być
it was
także
hard to act
odważnym,
decently,
wtedy,
when it was hard
jeśli
to be a
oznaczało
brave
to
person,
ryzyko własne,
as it
własnej
entailed
reputacji.
putting one's life at risk and
Jestem
putting one's
pewien,
family at risk.
że na to
I strongly
straszliwe
believe that this
doświadczenie
dreadful experience
trzeba
should be
patrzeć z
viewed
różnych
from
punktów
various
widzenia.
perspectives. We
Trzeba
should
także
also remember
patrzeć
that this is and
od strony
ought to be
tego, że
a certain measure
to
of
jest
our
i powinna
humanity,
być również
the willingness to help
jakaś
others
miara
through
człowieczeństwa.
risking one's own life.
Zdolność pomagania innym wtedy, kiedy się samemu ryzykuje. Chcielibyśmy, żeby ta miara człowieczeństwa
We would
była
like this measure to be
przydatna
valid
dzisiaj i w
also
przyszłości.
today and in the future.
Chcielibyśmy, aby ta miara
We would like to
człowieczeństwa
measure of
była
our
jak
humanity to be
najambitniejsza,
most
po to,
ambitious in
aby świat
order to the
był
world
światem
to be a
lepszym.
better place.
Dlatego
This
bardzo
is why
serdecznie
I would like to
dziękuję
thank
za
for your
pamięć
memory of
o
the good
dobrych
deeds
uczynkach,
which were
często
often
na samym
performed in the
dnie
midst of hell.
wieku. Serdecznie dziękuję
I would like to thank you not only for your and your family's conduct, but I also truly thank you for the fact that today I can express this gratitude on behalf of the Polish nation and on behalf of the Polish state, and not only to bow my head low in respect for history, but also with hope that all this will be of importance for the future. An experience of a good deed in the times of horror, in the times of crime, in the times of indifference, in the times of treason and pervasive hostility, may and should convince us that even in the bleakest hours, one may act in a decent manner, one may act properly. This always is a certain step in a better direction, getting farther from this hell and closer to the world in which we can feel safer and in which we can be better. Therefore, I would like to truly thank you. At the same time, I would like to underline that we should make every effort to treasure the memory of these good deeds, just as we should try to maintain the memory of the bad deeds, since even evil, when lived through, experienced, is also something which may make the world better as we strive to escape from such evil, try to live through this evil and overcome it. When I was the Marshal of the Sejm, I had an incredible conversation with the President of Israel, Perez, who in fact comes from the Vilnius region. He told me something which I personally find extremely important. He said, "You know, I keep thinking about what else we could do in order to save the memory, both among young Jews and among young Poles, not only of the cruelty of the Holocaust, of the terrible dimension of the mass murder of the Jewish nation, but also the memory of those who saved others, in order to make all remember that only in this part of Europe those who provided such help risked their own lives." And I like to think that this is, in the way, what we have done today. By thanking you, we want to commemorate those good deeds which were often performed amidst hell. I would also like to avail myself of today's opportunity to thank From the bottom of my heart, those persons who initiated, I'm talking here about the Association of the Children of the Holocaust, and who supported the construction of the Warsaw Monument of Gratitude under a beautiful title, To the Saviors, the Survivors. This also contributes to the long-lasting memory of the cruel times when the scale of heroism was much more visible. And we can see clearly all that in this hell could be done in order to help others. This will be also a monument which will prove that we, as people in general, are able to overcome the memory of bad deeds, to forget the horror and express gratitude to those who earned it. And by showing gratitude, we want to also express our hope that the good deeds will be remembered and they will shape today and the future a better world, better people. I would like to thank you for this initiative, for the involvement of the members of the International Monument Construction Committee, and I would like to express my deep gratitude and my sincere hope that this monument, just as the good deeds which today have been honored by the entire nation, will contribute to a better future and a better world, but also to a better future of the Polish-Jewish relations, and will solidify in us all that is human. Thank you.